Your ultimate team doesn't have to cost a fortune. Go to u7buy.com and use the code U7BuyTube at checkout for a discount. Welcome back to the U7Buy YouTube channel. Today we have, is it Shay Adams or Che Adams? I'm going to call him Shay because that's what I want to call him. 3-star skills, 4-star weak foot, silver card of course, available through the Silver Lounge. All you have to do is win 3 games, score 8 goals, get 6 assists. It's pretty straightforward stuff. Yeah, it may take you a few games, may take you 3 games, but either way, I think if you're the kind of person who enjoys using silvers, because I know people out there who build specific silver teams and will go into the Silver Lounge even if they've completed the most recent objective, and I like that. So if you are one of those people, you'll be looking at this card and thinking, yes, please, how do I fit him in to my Brazilian team or whatever side that you have? And of course, if you don't really care too much about silvers, but you do still have a silver team ready for the objectives, this is going to be a card that will more than likely appeal to you because he's comparable to some of the sort of reasonably top strikers in the Premier League in terms of in-game stats. 3-star skills, 4-star weak foot, as I mentioned, a high attacking work rate, 5'10". Does have a stocky body type, which does go against him somewhat. I mean, it's not like game-breaking or anything, and it's not one of those things that he's now unusable because of that, but definitely something worth mentioning. Absolutely no traits to speak of whatsoever, unfortunately. Has good pace, 89 acceleration, 90 sprint speed. I mean, feel free to boost it if you want. I thought that was adequate for what I needed, and of course I then slapped a finisher on him because his finishing for a striker is a little bit on the poor side. 81 finishing it's okay. For a silver, it's fantastic. But for a card that has quality all around it, I felt like that needed boosting. 88 shot power, 84 positioning. His agility and his balance are okay. His ball control's not too bad. His physicals are really good. 82 jumping, 81 stamina, 83 strength, and 80 aggression. That's fantastic. Now, for the most part, I would imagine that you would be playing this card against silver teams. It's unlikely that you'll be playing this card against other gold teams, unless of course you fancy a challenge, you're a Southampton fan or whatever. But if you play him against silvers, this review is going to reflect that. I didn't play him against silvers, incidentally. I actually played him in the Champions League group stage, the road to the final group stage friendly. The team I've got him in there is, I mean, it's good. The defense is dodgy, sure. The 2 centre-backs in particular, very dodgy. Bowen is in there purely for chemistry, which, I mean, you know, he works, and I used him as a cam, but I wouldn't recommend him. But what you're going to see in this video is Adams being used in a gold team against other gold players and defenders. I mean, we're talking the likes of Rafael Varane and Gomez and all the rest of it. You know, he's playing against those type of players. But just remember that the majority of people will be playing this guy against other silvers. So when I said to you about this card being comparable to sort of mid-range Premier League players in terms of in-game stats, I wasn't lying, because right next to me I have a comparison screen where we compare Adams to Jamie Vardy and also Dominic Calvert-Lewin's Player of the Month card. Now, Jamie Vardy on paper is the better card. However, most of the stats that are better come in terms of defensive awareness, stand tackle, slide tackle, interceptions, and a little bit of the heading as well. I mean, just alone, Jamie Vardy has 57 defensive awareness, whereas Adams has 38. So most of the in-game stats are lost there. In terms of shot power, Adams wins. He beats him in long shots quite considerably, 82 to 65. He loses in volleys and penalties. Doesn't quite have the finishing, nowhere near the finishing actually, or positioning, but is comparable in other areas. In terms of comparing him to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he's actually almost the identical card on paper, and in fact they both have 2,104 in-game stats. He does have a few cons in terms of his passing, his composure, reactions, the lack of skill moves for me personally, and yeah, sure that no one else has this problem. I more or less need 4-star. However, I will still criticise if you don't have 5-star these days. Honestly, it's one of those situations where I need Elasticos and all the rest of it. Last year, and any other FIFA that you ever talked to me about, I very rarely used any 5-star skills. This year, I need them. I use them all the time. His step-overs were good enough, except when being pressured. The finisher chem style helping with the dribbling really did help. But, I mean, overall, against silver cards, this guy is going to be fantastic. Against gold cards, he can still compete. Obviously, you don't want to put him in there instead of a gold card, but he can still compete. If you are a Southampton fan or an Adams fan in general, I think you've got a banger here. For 3 wins in a friendly mode, this is something that I think everyone should be doing. Absolute guaranteed worth the unlock. Very good card. Overall rating is comparable to Silver's, by the way. I've only marked him down because of that passing, because it is absolutely woeful, and the lack of skills for me personally, and then that touch of composure, which does cost him on occasion. Is it worth it? I think yes. Hopefully you found that informative, and of course hopefully you've enjoyed it, and I shall catch you in the next one.